Welcome to the Diner here on West Central's Best Radio and the Today's Country 105.7 YouTube channel. I'm your host, Micah Pickering. My guest on the program today is Jason Lovins. Lovins is a well-known touring artist with his band, the Jason Lovins Band. The popular group is one of the many talented performers that will be playing at the Anacoco Faith and Family Freedom Music Festival on June 29th. Jason and I talked about his connection to the Anacoco Faith and Family Freedom Music Festival and the band's 11th album, Pilgrim Road. We also discussed his own Christian faith and his personal journey through making music. Let's pull into the diner and hear all about it. It's Micah here in the studio with you, and we are here to talk about Anacoco Faith and Family Freedom Music Festival. It's coming up later this month on June 29th. It's going to be a big show. It's one of the biggest music festivals really to come to the area in quite some time. We're going to have the largest fireworks show in central Louisiana, headlined by Shenandoah featuring Marty Raybon and other guest artists performing, the Irwins, Rhett Walker, who we talked to yesterday, and it's my pleasure to introduce another performer who is going to be there performing live at the show. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Jason Lovins. How you doing, Jason?
Man, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to have you. It's good to have you. Hey, you told me that right now you're out on the beach. You're enjoying a little vacation.
Yeah, I can't even lie to you. I'm looking at the ocean right now, so it's a good day.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, where you at?
We're in Melbourne, Florida.
All right. Love Florida. Love a summer beach vacation.
It's the best kept secret in Florida, so don't tell anybody.
All right. You and me and everybody listening. Hey, y'all out there, don't talk about Melbourne. Keep it a secret. Keep it a secret. All right. Well, we're talking a little bit about Faith and Family Freedom Music Festival coming up at Anacoco First Baptist Church. How'd you come about coming down Anacoco way?
Yeah, so it's such a cool story. My band, we travel all over the country. We do about 40 weeks a year on the road, so we're pretty much just on tour all the time, and we play a lot of different churches and different things like that, and we came across First Baptist Anacoco. We played there, just fell in love with them, and they invited us to come do their first kind of annual. We didn't know it would be an annual, but they wanted to do like an outdoor kind of faith family festival and have fireworks, and so we were the headliner the first year, and there were several hundred people that showed up, and it was kind of cool. And so the pastor, Chad, who's just amazing, he said, man, I mean, let's try to make this even bigger and better next year, and would you help me do it? And so, and I live in Kentucky. I'm nowhere near Louisiana, but we said, yeah, let's do it. And so we dove in the next year, and I called some friends, the Isaacs, who are Grand Ole Opry members. They're a bluegrass band. They're amazing. And then my friends New Song, who are a big contemporary Christian band. So we brought them in the next year and had like 2,500 people, something crazy like that, show up, and had a big fireworks thing. And so pastor said, hey, let's just do it even bigger next year. And so last year, it ended up being us, my friends Chosen Road. They're a bluegrass worship band. We had Point of Grace, and then we had Mac Powell, formerly of Third Day, and he's put out a few country records that were awesome. There were over 5,000 people that showed up last year. And so this year, we started dreaming up like, hey, what can we do? And the pastor, we're just really emphasizing this whole faith and family freedom and making it a family-friendly festival that day. And I said, hey, you know what? My old sound guy, who's one of my best friends, he is now working for the band Shenandoah. And he tells me all the time about Marty Rayburn and how amazing he is and how he's super strong in his faith and all that just really means a lot to him. And so every Shenandoah show that comes along, I mean, he shares his story and talks about his faith and how important it is to him. And Shenandoah, you know, is one of the biggest country bands out there for a long time. And he said, you know, that's what they do. And so I asked him, I said, man, we got this festival we've been doing in Anacoco, Louisiana, and I'm going to ask the pastor if we can get Shenandoah to come. And long story short, we made it happen, and they were all in, and so we're bringing Shenandoah. We wanted to bring in another gospel group, so we called on the Irwins, and then Rhett Walker. We love him, and he is just awesome, and he has a very country sound anyway, and thought, man, this is just going to be the perfect fit, and so it turned into what I think is going to be the biggest one yet. So we're pretty excited about it.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a great show, definitely. And we talked to Rhett yesterday, and he's excited for it. I know everybody here locally is excited for it, and they just can't believe something this big and cool is happening right in our backyard here in Anacoco. Well, tell me a little bit about your background for those who aren't familiar. You've been in the business, 20 years now?
Yeah, we've been on the road a little over 20 years. My band started in college, and I grew up in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia, and I live just right across the river now in Ashland, Kentucky. But I grew up just country, gospel, old school, backwoods gospel. I mean, that's all that I knew growing up. And by the time I got in college, we started a band, and we kind of became a worship band. We were doing a lot of camps and different things like that, and then it turned into we're doing festivals and churches and fairs and everything in between, and that's kind of what it's turned into. So we've been really blessed to get to travel for a long time now, and just feel so honored to be a part of this event because it's going to be a big one.
Yes, indeed, folks. It is going to be a big one, and you can definitely feel it. Everybody's excited for it. Anacoco and that whole First Baptist Church community has been knocking on doors, basically letting everybody know what's coming on, so everybody knows.
And this is what I tell people. How cool is it that you got one church that says, you know what, we love our people, we love this community, and we want to do something really cool and put on an event like this. I mean, it's amazing that one little church has put on an event that's turned into something like this, and that just shows how much they care, and they want to put on a family-friendly event like this, and the fireworks show is just, I mean, it's next to none. I've seen it. It's incredible, and so we're expecting it to be even bigger and better this year. So it's going to be fun, man. People, you don't want to miss this.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And the momentum, like you said, for this event every year just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's because of a lot of hard work, and you're definitely a part of that. So I know they're appreciative of what you've put in it and your collaboration with it. Tell me a little bit. We'll get into the music for just a quick second. Tell me a little bit about what led you to make Christian music, to be a Christian musician, and your relationship with the faith.
Yeah, so, I mean, I grew up in church all my life. My grandma had a little gospel group, and they were in church, it seemed like every night somewhere, and they were singing somewhere, literally, it felt like every night as a kid, and so, you know, I knew that my whole life. I came to faith in the Lord when I was 8 years old. I went to a summer camp and in eastern Kentucky, and I remember the day that he was kind of like our cabin leader / Bible study leader. He said, "Hey, I mean, does anybody want to talk about this?" And I said, I do. And he took me outside. I can take you to the tree where he led me to the Lord that day. And so it became very real to me at a young age. But my grandma was just an amazing, she was just incredible, and so she was a huge inspiration, and so I actually lived with her most of my childhood life, and just, it was just, I feel just like the luckiest kid in the world that I was able to do that. And so, again, grew up in church, but I only sang in church just because I wanted to play the guitar just so I could play for my grandma. And so that's what I did, and so it really kind of became a thing where, like, I could sing, but I just did it for my grandma, and when anybody would ask me to, and so it wasn't even until I got in college and started this band, and it just kind of happened, and before I knew it, we were on stage in front of just hundreds of kids at a camp one summer, and I realized that, like, I have all these gifts, and primarily this was going to be so that I could learn to lead people in worship, and that's kind of really what has been the main focus all along. I mean, any kind of setting that we're in. I mean, we're a worship band. We want people singing, and we want them to have a worship experience, and so that's kind of always the primary goal. I mean, even out there on that big festival stage, I mean, we're going to do some old hymns. We're going to do some new rock and worship songs that maybe people will recognize, and then we'll slide a few of ours in. But that's a big part of my life and why we even do what we do. And so I've been very thankful that for whatever reason, God has made a way for me to do this music thing. Primarily, I mean, that's our heart. I mean, we're singing about Him. We're trying to get people to sing to Him and about Him, and just how good He really is. And so it's just been the coolest journey. I've been doing it a long time now, and I really do feel like the luckiest guy in the world.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And it's that gratitude that really kind of shows in your work, and especially just doing things like nobody asked you to help out Anacoco get their stuff together, but here you are, and that gratitude kind of feeds and builds on itself, and because you know what you've been blessed with from the Lord, and so you give that back to the community, and it just honors Him in that way. So that's a really cool thing to see.
That's our heart, and it's an honor to do it.
All right. I want to take a moment to talk about Pilgrim Road. It's your 11th album, and it's available now. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I still can't believe we've done 11 albums. There's a handful of them. The first 4, I have done a pretty good job of wiping them off the face of the earth so nobody can hear them. But we're hanging on to the next ones. But it's really a great representation of who we are and what we do. It's got some old gospel songs. It's got some new rock and roll worship songs and some really just kind of country sounding songs that is very natural to me. It's authentic because it's what I grew up on, and I mean, if you'd asked me when I was a kid, what are you going to be when you grow up, I would have told you I was going to be the next Garth Brooks, or I was pretty serious about that. I just loved country music, but gospel music was always right there, and it's so easy for those to kind of intermingle, and that's kind of what we've done. And so it really is just a good representation of who we are and what we do, and so we're really proud of that album.
All right, and folks, the album is Pilgrim Road, and it's the Jason Lovins Band, and you can see them on June 29th. That's Sunday, June 29th at 4 p.m. at Anacoco First Baptist Church, 4813 Port Arthur Avenue in Anacoco. They're going to have the largest fireworks show in central Louisiana. You can see the Jason Lovins Band, Rhett Walker, and the Irwins, headlined by Shenandoah featuring Marty Raybon. That's going to be a big show, and you're not going to want to miss it. Hey, Jason, thanks for pulling into the diner today and talking with me.
Hey, my pleasure. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Hey, we're looking forward to seeing you. Take care.
Have a good day.
All right, thank you. Thanks for listening to The Diner. If you liked this episode, be sure to like and subscribe to the Today's Country 105.7 YouTube channel. Download our smartphone app to take advantage of our live stream, and always keep your radio tuned to Today's Country 105.7. I'm Micah Pickering. Thanks for pulling in to The Diner.